I gotta open up my broker still. And here we go. Markets are open. Spies battling that 400. We don't know which way VERU wants to go yet. Let this market pick a direction, and then we'll follow the trend. No point in battling that open. One of the top prospects, DTST. That's the top penny stock as of right now, up and running. Careful with this VERU. We don't know which way it wants to go yet. Got to get a clean break over 1350. Hopefully you guys had a good weekend out there. That AFRM ran the last few days. This one could come back, break up over 24. Keep this one on the back burner. That previous day's close and 24, I'd look for it to build back up and break up over. CLF getting a pop. CLM. Looks like DTST's gearing up for a squeeze up over 4. It's gonna run up over 4, run to 450. 18.6 million in volume. A lot of volume flowing into this. Oh wow, I see your comment there, Hawk. Hold on, I want to see what this DTST does here. It's a bit too risky because it can easily flush out. It's trying to get that micro pullback right here to surge up to 4. This is the #1 stock right now. I'm not gonna focus on this one. It's overcrowded. Oh, there goes VERU. Wow, Captain America over the weekend, huh? That's awesome, though. You're able to do that. Oh, wow. 6-month span between missions like that? You didn't have no rust. Did you? No cobwebs to shake off? There goes VERU. Good rip on it. See if she pulls back down near this $13 area. Builds back up. Continues to break. Now that VERU is performing, everybody's going to start leaving this DTST. With DTST dropping and breaking down below that trend line, you're going to probably look for $3 to hold up for DTST for a squeeze later on in the day. And then AFRM, that's a good comeback with VERU. So VERU and AFRM are running together. Also with the SPY, it looks like DraftKings is getting a pop too. Roblox is getting a pop too. That one's squeezing up higher. Pretty cool though to go out there and be able to do that. Jump in a helicopter and rescue 2 people over the weekend. How many people can say they did that? Very unique. 1 to 2 real world missions a month. Wow. We drag this over. We got some good runners. Roblox, the CVNA is going on a big run right now. The CVNA, we picked this one up. Where did we pick this one up? Forget where we picked this one up. This one just ran from 41 up to 46. Snapchat got a good rebound. AFRM is still pushing. The SPY is still trying to gear up there. They're battling it out. DraftKings got a good push this morning. Right at that 1270s, how it was resistance there all Friday. This morning, it dips down to it right there, kisses it, rips right up off of it. So now you'd be looking for 13, that area right there to hold up. Build up in levels to push up higher. Same thing with AFRM. I think AFRM's level's going to be right here, 2350. Let it pull back down. VERU stalled out up there just over 1350. So this is technically still in a range. 1350 and that 12, just below 1250. It's in a range. SPYs making new day lows. So far, wild action. DTST broke that trend. Surges down here to $3.10. Rips right back up. This one, keep it on watch for later on. This one could definitely come back and squeeze. Just have to see how it plays out. That 200-day moving average is right at 367 on the daily chart. Right there. This CVNA, this is a pretty volatile stock. Look at that setup on CVNA. This has got a lot of room to run on it. I think we pull back down. Let these moving averages get closer for a squeeze later on. We'll pull back down here to like a 41, 42. I'm going to say 42. DraftKings gave back all of its run up. Same thing with that VERU. But it's still holding. Look at DTST. I think this one's got a good shot at squeezing. $26 million in volume. When we just looked at DTST about 10 minutes ago, it was at 18 million in volume. There's a lot of volume flowing into this for sure. Oh, look at that. Look. Oh my goodness. This thing's gonna explode. Give it a little bit of time. This thing's really setting up. DTST. It's gonna rifle up to 4 and then explode over 4. 4.2 million float. $28.5 million in volume. A lot of this thing's on track to see 100 million easy. Roblox is still pushing. CVNA is still pushing. Look at that 3-minute setup. Look at the price action with this. I have it up on Thinkorswim. When I looked over at CVNA real quick, I seen this DTST just quickly rip up like that, and then it blink of an eye rip right back down with that upper wick. This type of stock, you're putting your risk down below $3. They're gonna play a lot of emotional games with you with this one. You're either with it or you're not. There's still other good stocks out here too. That Roblox CVNA is a good one. CPNG is pushing up. UPST, this one's setting up too. I'm gonna throw this one up on the watch list. My other stock charts. You could see them holding it back right here. $32 million in volume. The SPY's making a new low. Want to see if we dip down here on DTST down there to 320s. The longer we hold over a 3, the better for this. The closer you can get in near 3, the better. I could see this thing ripping up to 4. Then it rips up over 4. We'll run up to 450. Over 450. We'll run to 5. And then over 5. We don't have resistance till 650. I think we see it. I could see it running to $6. That's where I see it running up to 6. A lot of long upper wicks. You could just see him gearing it up right here. They let it go, it's going to get pretty wild out here because this is the only penny stock that I see that's hot. All the volume's going to gravitate to this. $35 million in volume. This pulls back, 350 is gonna have to hold. The volume ran up too, and it tested this morning's high volume. Roblox is still running. CVNA is still in a nice range. APPN is still running. UPST is looking good. DraftKings is looking good. There's a lot of good opportunity out here today. AFRM too. this APPN run back up to 60, breaks up higher, it'll squeeze. Roblox getting a good push this morning. 31.50 up to 35 now. Then UPST off 38 running up to 40. And there is a lot of volume flowing into this DTST. A lot. AFRM's running up to new highs. This DTST, if it doesn't go soon, it's gonna exhaust itself. Way too much volume for it to just be lingering around like that. Nice steady volume flowing into Roblox. See, I want to see stocks pull down and then lift. Pull down, lift. Pull down, lift. Not just a steady pullback and then just linger. That's not showing strength, really. And with as much volume that's flowing into this, steady volume like that, and it's just lingering like that, you got to take note. That should have snapped right off of that and went. Now everybody's going to start bailing on it, all that volume that got into it, and then it's going to crash it. Kind of like this action right here. Pull back, snap, pull back, snap, snap. It's a fall for CPNG. SPY is still duking it out. Bears and bulls are still battling. DTST's got 42 million in volume now on the day. For CVNA, we said 42 is support right here. This ripped up to 46. It pulled down to 43. Popped back up to 45.50. Pulled back down to 42.50. So I'm in the ballpark with this. If it can continue to gear up, this could see $50. Let these moving averages get a bit closer on the 10-minute. I don't think DTST goes. It should have went right here. Right there, it should have went. Like I was just saying too, this is good price action you want to see here. Pullbacks, snap. Pullback, snap. Pullback, snap. Like VERU here. That's strength. Be careful on that DTST, because if that bottom gives way, she's going to sink hard down to 3. Because this is what's happening. You can easily draw out a trend line here, but what's happening, yeah, there's a lot of volume flowing into this, but you have a lot of people just patiently sitting on the bid and getting filled. Once everybody gets filled on the bid and there's no more big buyers soaking it up on the bid, prices are going to free fall. You want people to be attacking the ask, not patiently sitting on the bid. Market's been open for an hour now. That was a good comeback, VERU here. All you had to do was zoom out to yesterday's price action and seeing that this was in a range. It's in a $1 range back and forth. So if we break up over 1350, we'll run up here to 1450 and then we'll pull back and you'd be looking for 1350 to hold as support. Yeah, they sure are milking it with this DTST. I don't think it goes though, to be honest. I think it's gonna flush out hard. All right, top stocks today. DTST, VERU, UPST, AFRM, Roblox, RBLX, CVNA. Oops. I didn't mean to send that. I was still making it. ZNTL getting a good ramp from 22 up to 26. This is a perfect... Ooh, VERU just exploded. This is a perfect example right here, though. When you have a number one stock on the day, for example, DTST, and it's got insane volume flowing into it, don't get micro zoomed or tunnel vision in on just one specific stock like this, because with much volume that's flowing into a stock like this, you could see all morning here it's got a range of 50 cent, but it's still, you don't know what it wants to ultimately do yet. It's just a lot of up and down, back and forth action. It's overcrowded. Too many opinions, too many trading strategies, too many heads are in on this. Keep jumping around. Look at this ZNTL. Super light volume, and it's still starting to heat up with volume. Perks up here from 2050 up here to 23. Pulls back to the VWAP. Lingers around just above VWAP here at 22, and then lifts up to 26.50, $4.50 to the upside. So I've noticed this over time. I told myself, why am I beating myself up and focusing on overcrowded stocks like this? And then there's other stocks out here that are just effortlessly lifting up like this. I've seen this stuff time and time again. And even look at this one, VERU, getting a good run up here from 1250 up to 1450. This was the hot stock on Friday. Today's Monday. So everybody forgot about this stock because they all got gravitated over to the newest and best thing. Just like when new products roll out, like when Apple comes out with the new iPhone every year, people get super excited. They stand in the long lines to purchase the new iPhones. The newest and greatest product. Everybody wants it, and they forget about the generation before it. So just something to keep in mind. And the more you show up every day as a trader, you yourself will start to pick up on patterns and themes, and you'll recognize conditions. So keep jumping around. Keep your eyes fresh. Don't get zoomed in on just one stock. Worst case scenario, you know what happens when you get tunnel vision? You start seeing things that aren't there. You start convincing yourself it's a good setup and a good buy. So keep jumping around, keep your eyes fresh. And it's also good on another monitor to have a bunch of other charts up as well. Have all kinds of different other charts up. That way you have options. Jump, 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 jump around. Don't be careful with this DTST. They're gonna play some games with this one. See, now that VERU got a good rip right here and volume to confirm it. Look for a nice tight pullback like we were talking about earlier for that snap up higher. $14. You wouldn't want to see it drop below that. Popular stocks, number one is the SPY, followed by AMD. Third, we got DK. Then number 4 is that penny stock DTST. All that volume, the 4.2 million float, 46.5 million in volume, and it's still up in the air. You don't know which way it wants to go yet. Seems odd to me. This is what I think happens. I think they quickly rip it, and then it's going to be a long wick, and they're going to sink it right down. That's what I think's going to happen. See, VERU tight pullback here, right down to that $14. If it falls through that 14, next level is going to be 1350. That old resistance from the range that it was just in. So for any type of bullish continuation on this, you're going to want to see it hold above 1350 and build up off that level. From 14 here, you'll just possibly see it run back up and retest its high. You guys over there on YouTube, I don't know what I did. I deleted the comment thing, so I can't see if any of you guys are commenting. Let me do a quick rundown here real quick. CYN, this thing is slowly fading out. Right at that $3. This thing fell off really fast. Remember when this was in play every day and all that volume every day was just flowing into it nonstop? Perfect example when a stock stops performing and it's not making new highs anymore, people lose interest and they go off to other things. Look at how volume just dries up on this. Right, all that volume to nothing. These penny stocks are garbage. Can't emotionally get attached to them. One of my favorite sayings is, they're garbage. Treat it like garbage. We use and abuse them. That's it. Coin is pulling back. So let's draw retracement here from the low all the way up to the high up there. So far we've retraced 38%. A 50% retracement would be down here around $58. Could see a bounce there. Beyond Meat, same thing, getting a pullback. Keep Beyond Meat on watch later this week as it pulls back here. Let it set up for a play later on this week. Yeah, AFRM, that was an epic run. See, when you're zoomed in on this day like this here, and you're doing all your technical analysis and breaking it down, zoom out on that chart and look at the big picture of it. The last 3 trading days here. This day, and now day 3. From $14. That's a pretty epic run up. An $11.50 run up. There's its first leg, second leg, and then its third leg right there. This starts to crack, it's gonna fall pretty hard. Back down to these levels here. Looks like VERU held up at that $14. ripped right back up to its highs. Good move. Now you'd be wanting to see it hold 1425 right here for a new high of day. All right. VERU still going. This DTST is still in limbo. They don't know which way. Total volume 49 million on the day. They've rotated that float about what, 10, 15, what? I'm gonna say 12 times. They've rotated the float. 50 million in volume, 4 million float. The SPY's just been back and forth all day. Really from Friday. A lot of range. $397 up to $403. I don't know. They say rounding tops are bad. Notice all the rounding tops right here. Before that fall. More rounding tops right here. Before that fall. Take a look at the sector real quick. Looks like pot, marijuana is the #1 sector today. Followed by XLE, energy. The energy sector is the poppin' sector today. Then second, we got XLV, the health sector. We pull over FinViz real quick. As you see, 1-day relative performance, we got the energy, healthcare, basic material, utilities. Technology is getting beat down the most today. Click on energy here. Click on the top percentage gainers in energy. OXY is getting a good day. Hawk says, I like how Facebook is facing right under 200 range. Right now, the indexes are weak and other tech is falling. So that will drag on it. But the indexes got some strength and tech start to come back. Then I think Facebook will have a good run. Right behind the SPY, The second popular stock is AMD. That's a tech stock. Facebook. It's been green the last 3 days straight. You have a little squeeze going on here. You could see a rip up here at about 206. Yeah, and you look at the 200 or the daily chart, the 50-day moving average is at 206.95. Usually when we see stocks trend, they get one euphoric move up like a grand finale. The Qs is starting to fall. Let's see. VERU still performing. I took one trade this morning. I traded DTST, but I bailed on it. I'm kind of glad I bailed on it because it's been in limbo now for like the last hour and a half. And I don't want to put myself in that situation where I'm holding and hoping and then get stuck in a flush out, you know? I don't know why it's not showing my entry and exit on Thinkorswim. But I got in just under 350. I traded it way over here. I got my show trades on. Go to a 5-minute. No. I got in just under 350. And when it ran up here to 380s, and when it was starting to pull back right here, I was just right when I was saying it looks weak as fuck. That's when I bailed out on it. I just feel they're gonna fuck over a lot of people on this one. I don't want nothing to do with it. That's the only thing I traded so far. I just feel like this is gonna fake out and then flush all the way down here. It's gonna do a stop loss hunt because everybody has their stops all down here. They've been all buying in on this, holding for that run up to 4. It's too obvious. And what the market makers are going to do, they're going to quickly pop it, make more people chase after it thinking it's going to go, and then they're going to flush it out and they're going to hit everybody's stop loss orders. There it is. Now it's showing. See, I got in on this way over here, right as it was pushing up over VWAP 349, and it ripped all the way up to 380s. And when it started to pull back right here, and when it started to stall out right there, I'm like, yeah, this thing's weak. And I noticed to what I was seeing on the chart across the board, and that's when I bailed out right here. I bailed out, and see, if I didn't bail out on this, I would have been in the red, and then I'd be sitting there holding on to it for what, the next hour and a half, and right now I'd still be in limbo. I wouldn't know if it's gonna go or not go, making myself more vulnerable to a stop loss hunt where they flush it out down to 3. It just becomes too risky at this state here. I don't like to put myself in that type of situation. I've been in a lot of them before, and they never really end well most of the time. So you look at too, this, it's doing something we've talked about multiple times here in the server. It's doing the truffle shuffle, where a stock just gradually shimmies up like this. That's not really good. You ever hear the saying, if it looks a bit too obvious or if it's too good to be true, don't do it? With DTST here, this is the #1 stock on the day. It's Monday, May 16th, 2022. Market's been open now just over an hour and a half. With DTST here, this was gapping up this morning, one of the top leading gappers of the day. And we take a look at this. Let's break it down. The float on this bad boy, that's one of the first things I'm always going to look at for a stock. The float is pretty low. We got a low float here at 4.2 million. That's a low float stock. Traders, we love low float stocks. The saying goes, the lower the float, the bigger the rip. Stock market revolves around supply and demand. Whenever you got a low supply of something and you got the demand there, you get that price action really ripping with low float stocks. That's why you see a lot of your gurus focusing on low float stocks. We got press release this morning. Data Storage Corporation reports 236% increase in revenue and profitability for the first quarter of 2022. So that's a pretty knockout grand slam percentage increase in their revenue. 236% for a data storage. We look at the daily chart here. This is gapping up from 220s up here to a high of 370s, and this red line right here you see on the daily chart, that's the 200-day moving average. You're going to see a lot of traders out there use this as their default moving average for their daily chart. The 50-day and the 200-day moving average are what you're going to see a lot of traders out there use as default on their daily chart. With that in mind, you want to see what everybody else is seeing. That's why it's really popular to use those moving average. And a lot of times you'll see stocks, they like to run up to these moving averages, stop there, and then go down. Today, you could see we've been battling at that red line. We got over it for a brief moment and then it failed and it's right back down. So this stock's been in limbo all this morning, and with all this information now that we got under our belt and in mind, let's go to the intraday chart here, break it down even further. So I did trade this stock this morning. I did. I'll pull it over real quick. And I bailed on this stock. I ultimately bailed on this. I got in on this right as it was crossing over 350 for that run up to $4 and then a break up over $4. When we ran up to $3.80 here and we started to pull back right here, and when it started to stall out with this pop right here, I really take pride in how I react to situations. If I get in on something and if I pick up on weakness, I'm bailing. I'm not sitting there and thinking about it. You get paid by how you react to situations as traders. Now, if I would have just continued to hold on to this, look at now. I traded this just after 10 a.m. It's just after 11 a.m. now. So I would have been sitting here now for over an hour while this stock is still in limbo. So I bailed out on this and salvaged what I could. I'd much rather walk away with $60 than be red $20. Or, you know what I'm saying? So reacting to what you're seeing, that's when you're going to get paid, you guys. And you want to think differently and outside of the box. We know the statistics say that 90% of traders fail and lose money, right? So I don't want to be thinking like everybody else. So when you're looking at a chart like this, you want to be different in the way you're looking at it and breaking it down. You can easily plot on a trend line on this, and you could say, hey, this is in a big wedge. All I got to do is sit and get in while it's at the bottom of the trend line here. And hopefully it runs up to that $4 and runs and goes. That was the idea this morning right here. The earlier in the morning, you're going to see the most volatility. The later you go in the day, that's when volatility really starts to dry up. Now we're approaching lunch hours. This stock still has not made its move. So chances are you're going to be holding on to this all through lunch hours, leading all the way up till power hour. Then before you know it, you've been holding on to it for the last 5 hours straight, and the stock still hasn't made its move. With it being a 4.2 million float stock and volume, that's another key thing. Look at how much volume has been flowing into this stock all day. You could see volume's been decreasing on it as the day went on. And even this morning, all that volume here, and when it ripped up to its highs right here, it tested it with the volume here and failed. And you're still holding on to it, hoping that it comes back. You got to react to the situation, but back to the trend line here, the way you got to look at it. Now, everybody's patiently sitting on the bid to get filled at the trend line here. Once everybody gets filled on the bid and all those buyers are gone, prices are going to sink down even lower. If you want a stock to go up higher, you don't want people to be patiently sitting on the bid. You want people to be taking that ask. You want people chasing after the stock, taking the ask to go up even higher. Now, you want to think like a market maker too. With it here at a trend line like this, and from 9:45 right here all the way till now 11:20, so about an hour and a half, this stock has been at this line here. Everybody has been gradually getting in on it, getting in on it, getting in on it, getting in. Everybody's been getting in all right here for that move up higher, right? Well, with everybody getting in on this for that move up higher, on the other side of the screen, the market maker sees everybody's stop loss. So they see everybody's putting their stop losses all right down here. And it looks like this when they're all putting their stop losses in. For you members here that been with me for a while, you've heard me talk about this many times before. So this isn't something new for you. With all these stop losses down here, and the market maker, they get paid per transaction. They could get paid a penny per transaction. And look at what they do here with that long wick. See how they rip it up to 370 and then yank it right back down? There's a lot of games being played with this stock here. And for a new trader out there, you could emotionally wreck your account trying to trade something like this, because you could have chased after that market buying in, and then they'll flush it down. They'll take everybody's stop loss out and they'll rip it down to $3 way down here, and they'll just play mind games with you. So back to when I said at the beginning of this video, if it looks too good to be true, or if it looks too obvious, don't do it. Everybody's looking at this, and they're like, man, this thing's holding up at that 350s. You could see it's holding that trend. We're going to get in on this for that ramp up to $4. It's everybody sees it. We know 90% of people fail and lose money. So you want to be doing the opposite of what looks obvious, if that makes sense in what I'm explaining to you guys. So all this morning, after I bailed out on this, I told you guys they're going to play mind games with this stock. And it's just going to be a back and forth. This is a low float stock. The volume on the day on it, let's see real quick. Volume on the day, it's done 54 million in volume. The float is only 4.2 million. So 54 divided by 4 is 13.5. They've rotated the float 13.5 times. There's an obvious supply and demand imbalance there. And the stock is moving like this? No. Something's off here. Something's off. Then you got a stock like VERU. The float on this is 60 million. And look at how this thing on Friday was moving. Friday here, from 1050, it ran all the way up to 1350, pulled back to 1250, runs up to $15, pulls all the way down here to 1225, and then it's in a $1 range the rest of the day, going all the way into today from 1250, running all the way back up to 1450. Bigger float on a stock like this. VERU, and the volume on the day is at 24 million. You got a lot more fluid price action going on something like this than DTST. Something's off here with DTST. You could just put it all together and see it. This isn't moving like a low float stock, or how a low float stock should move. As I say to you guys all the time, pay attention to the small little details that people easily overlook. And don't be afraid to think outside of the box. And most importantly, whatever you especially if you're new, whatever you naturally want to do the opposite. For those of you out there complaining that PDT rule, it's not fair. You new traders out there, you need the PDT rule. As a stock like this, you're going to battle it all day. And you're just going to slowly bleed out your account over trading a stock like this. PDT rule, I used to hate it at first. But over time, in learning this game and knowing how it plays out and the emotions of it, it's really there to help protect you. It really is. As I've been going throughout the day, I've been recording a few lessons. I'll name that one odd. That lesson odd. If it's too good to be true, stay away. Yeah, look at the games that they're playing with this thing. 345, rip it up to 370, rip it down to 335. Your best bet is to just stay away from this stock. Like we were just saying, as we near lunch hours now, think about too, if I didn't sell this, like, I'd still be sitting here holding on to it, hoping that it rips up to 4. So think of it like this: you get paid by how you react to the situation. And I know it sucks if you're under the PDT rule, you don't want to burn a day trade. And that can really mess with your head. It can. But you'll get it back. Yup, VERU here. This is a good one. Nice run up to highs here. Got a nice little retracement, then run back up, retested its high for a quick opportunity there. Now it's slowly fading back down to that 1350 level. So you could potentially play a bounce off that 1350. You'll play a bounce probably back up here to like, oh, just to 1425. So that'd be like a 75-cent potential right there. Things started off really good this morning, though. We had a lot of stocks up in play. Once again, UPST, nice run up this morning, pulled back, bounced right off that previous day's close a few times. Right off of that 38 bucks. Runs up here to 39.50, so that would have been $1.50. Pulled back again to 38. Ran up here to 40 bucks. That was a $2 run up. Back down to that 38. Now it fell through it. And now it's been acting as resistance. AFRM. Good run this morning from 22 up here to almost 25. Pulled back just below that previous day's close. built up right here. Got a nice pop up over that previous day's close. 23, it ran up to 25.50. $2.50 run on that. DraftKings had a good run up this morning. 12.60, it ran up to 13.40, so almost $1 it ran up. But when you zoom out on this stock ran up the last 3 days. You could see from all Friday that resistance all there. Extend it out. It's been holding up as support all day. Look at CPNG. You could tell this one's getting drilled. Look at the price action on that. Just how deeply it's getting drilled down right there. Pops up, gets drilled down again. This one went on a good run too. Recently. From 9, it ran all the way up to 13.50. Had a good squeeze on it. CVNA this morning. That was a good little pop on it. Zooming out on it. This one's been in play the last 3 days. This morning off 41, it ran up to 46. $5. It was trying to set up right here, but it failed. Back down she goes. Oh, we had that APPN too. APPN. This one was in play last week. You guys remember this one? It ran up here, up to 60. And then it got drilled down the next day, all day. Nice rebound day right here, day 3. Then the next day right here, it was like lingering just below that 60. So we had it on watch for a squeeze. Today it was marching up. I mean, it's still technically holding. So this stock could, if it holds 55, I'd say. This one later on in the week, it could come right back up to that 60 and then squeeze over 60. We were looking at APPN on the Sunday scan. I believe the short float on it is pretty high. Let me check. Short float is at 11%. So that's all right. Looks like it's breaking up out of a trend. Could be good moves for it down the road. You guys got any stocks you're looking at today? Just as a heads up to you guys too, I have it scheduled so far every day this week at, what is it, about 8:30, 9 p.m. Eastern time. So every night this week, there should be a new video dropping every single day. I've been going on a kick here recently, just pumping out lessons every day. Just pumping and pumping and pumping. These are good times here too, with what's been going on in the markets for learning experiences, for fair market correction. A lot of good valuable lessons. So far, I have traded VERU, made my money, and sold. Awesome job, Kelvin. You know, you the man, dude. Did you know that? You the man. That was a good one. VERU. That was real nice. It held at that 1250. It built up back up over VWAP. 13 pushed up to high of day there. 1370s. And then you got that nice explosion there. 1350 exploded up to 1435. So almost a $1 rip right there. And look at it like this too, man. I'm gonna record this. Look at it like this, you guys. The stock market is open 5 days a week, right? From 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. 6.5 hours, 5 days a week. All you need is one trade to make your whole week. It's not about how much you trade. I know when you're new, you come into this, you see all these other gurus out here and everybody, they're making money every single day. Focus on consistently growing that portfolio every week, because that is what leads to consistency. If you could focus on closing green every week, just Doesn't matter how much. Don't even have a number in your head. There should be no goal. I gotta make $1,000 this week. No, get that out of your head. Have an open mind. Be open. Because if you have a goal, you're putting a limit on yourself. And then you're also stressing yourself out to reach that goal by the end of the week. So be open-minded. Allow the markets to play out. Patiently sit around. The right ideas will fall into your lap. Trust me. That's the hardest part, is just waiting. But you'll know when something is tradable once you get experience under your belt. And all you need is one profitable trade to make your week. That's it. Don't overlook the simplicity and the small things. It's not about showing up every day and trading every single day, making bank every single day. It's about showing up and seeing what opportunities the stock market gives us. As I've said before, for as long as I have been around in the market, every week the market has always given me at least one or more opportunities a week. I just have to patiently wait for them. Monday, day 1, nothing could pop up. Tuesday, day 2, nothing could pop up. Wednesday, day 3, you see an epic supernova runner that just runs from $5 up to $50 in one day. That could have been your trade right there, Wednesday. Just had to have waited 3 days for it. So just sit tight. As the famous saying goes, trading is like walking over to the other side of the room and picking money up off the floor. But people like to overcomplicate things. It's because it's the natural and easy thing to do. We're just about to be approaching noon here. Lunch hours are setting in. Looks like everything's pretty much consolidating as we go into lunch. DTST still in limbo, doesn't know which way it wants to go. That's manipulation 100%. Oh yeah, that reminds me, I'm gonna start rendering these videos and editing them and scheduling them to publish this week. I'm going to wrap it up for the day, you guys. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you guys took away, once again, good, valuable lessons from the day. Learn something new every day. It compiles over time. Showing up every day on that grind. If you're not making money, at least you're learning. All right, you guys. As I say to you guys, have that patience, have that discipline, study, study, study. Happy Monday. Stay away from this DTST. It's not worth it, as I've been preaching all morning. There's a lot of wicked games going on with this thing. I've seen it multiple times. Stay away from stocks like this. See how they just flush it out like that? They just took everybody's stop loss out. And then they'll bring it right back up and make it look like they're going to rip it. People will chase after it. And it's just going to play mind games with you. So this is the type of stock. See that green line at 3? If you were in on this, you're putting your stop down there below 3. You're either with this stock or you're not trading it at all. I would just stay away from it. Market's still in limbo as the SPY has just been chilling like a villain out at that 400 area. We don't know yet which way she wants to go. I think the Feds meet this week and talk, don't they? On Wednesday? I believe they do.